Well, folks, I just heard the new the new Adam Levine Experience song, and there is no other way to say this. There is no going back from this. We are officially at the turning point. When you make something this terrible, you can't redeem yourself. So let's just all pack our bags, get on the planes, and leave Maroon 5 Fandom Island forever. Sound good? Let's go. And on that lovely note, hey everyone, welcome to another episode of Spin Reviews, and today I'm going to be doing my 300 subscriber Q&A. Now I've done two of these in the past for 100 and 200 subscribers. You get the sort of pattern for when I do this. And I'm basically going to be reading off all the questions from my phone here. I've never seen pretty much any of these questions before, so I'm going to be answering them just off the cuff. And or just redirecting you to our videos, which are linked in the description if I get a repeat one. Here we go. First one's from my arch nemesis, ARTV, who asks, favorite Papa Roach album? Probably the one where they exploit early 2000s suicidal thoughts and help justify the nu metal hate. Yeah, that one really does it for me. Moment when you realized Limp Bizkit changed your life. You know, it was probably that moment when I saw the Needle Drop review for Gold Cobra. Not gonna lie. Why did you cut your hair again? Because you touch yourself at night. What's the best part about living in California? You know what? I just love the hours and hours of white reggae we get inundated with on the radio on a regular basis from San Diego and Orange County. Just gives us that little special touch, you know, when you hear that pseudo-racist Bob Marley impression from the lead singer. Just great work. Jeff Emerson asks, why do you exist? Video over! What is the biggest difficulty of maintaining a small audience? You know, I've never really thought about it in that kind of way, but I suppose it's the fact that my videos aren't expected to get that many views, which can be a bit of a bummer when you see someone, like, say, a YouTuber that has millions of subscribers putting out just the most, frankly, objectively crap content and getting hundreds of thousands of views for it. It can be a little disheartening considering you put, like, hours and hours of work into what you do on this channel and you're very passionate about it and stuff, but you know, it is what it is. And what I do, like, I feel like unless I get like a huge, like, distinct vibe for this channel, then the growth is gonna be kind of slow. I mean, case in point, on the other side of the spectrum, speaking of Spectrum Pulse, he has made a very distinct name for himself for his reviewing style, is blowing up over the last couple years. And same thing for Here Lies Music, a channel I discovered a couple weeks ago. I know I'm going on a tangent, but the channel is actually run by the bassist of The Frights, Richard, and I've interviewed The Frights last year, and I didn't even realize it was him for like the first time I went through all the videos. But yeah, now we're talking about a potential collab, so maybe I can leech off some subs from that, bringing it back to the topic. Who is the one person you refuse to do a review on? Not really a specific artist, but I don't like going into an album wanting to hate it. And I know that for some artists, I'm going to do exactly that. And unless it's like something that I feel like there are a couple exceptions, like obviously the so infamous Robin Thicke review, where I did go into that knowing it was going to suck. And to an extent, the Maroon 5 one, I got a comment on my all-time low review asking if I could cover the new Falling in Reverse album. Now, even for Falling in Reverse's early stuff, now, I hate Alone, just like everyone else, but even for the early stuff, I like everything about it except for Ronnie Radke's vocals and lyrics. Like Pick Up the Phone could have been such a great song with that instrumentation, but he just kind of takes a giant crap all over it. Anyway, so in the case of their new album, like, I just don't really see the point in me talking about it, because I already know, like, even though, let's say, Era TV, and, like, it's been getting positive reviews, but I just don't really see myself opening up to it, as much as I hate to admit that, since I am a very open-minded music listener. I've been going about that long enough, but you get the general idea. Are you gonna give me my hentai white boy? Not until you knows me, senpai. My good buddy Jake Higgins asks, so how's your sex life? You know what? I'm not gonna answer this, but thank you, because I don't get room referenced nearly as much as I want to. Like, I feel like some people with last names that kind of are connected characters in pop culture, they get sick of it. I want more people to ask me what my story is. The Gamer Brothers asked, do you like Oasis? If so, what's your favorite/least favorite album and your favorite/least favorite song? I'm really only a casual fan of Oasis. It's most, like, I don't really have too much against them, but Liam's voice can kind of grate on me. I haven't listened to any full albums of theirs. I really only know the singles. Although, I will say, one album that came out earlier this year that I just ended up not reviewing was the new one from Noel Gallagher's High Flying Birds. And and this is going to be an unpopular opinion, I actually like Noel Gallagher's High Flying Birds way more than Oasis. Like, I feel like the songwriting is better. It's, like, less cheesy, I guess. I mean, Oasis doesn't get too cheesy, but you know what I mean. There's a lot more diversity to it. Noel is 10 times the singer Liam ever was. I'm just going to say that. Kelano asks, were you angered by the Neodrop's review of the new Best Coast album on Why You Know Review? No. I mean, I know that he pretty much hates that band, but, I mean, his review of Crazy For You is reasonable enough, and I completely disagree with this one, The Only Place, but I do kind of get where he's coming from on that album. And California is like, it's just funny. You know, it's like, I'm going to go on a tangent here, a bit of a rant. So, I have friends, and you know who you are if you're watching, that get legitimately pissed off at reviews on the internet. And it's just silly. Like, it's okay to disagree and think, okay, you know, I feel like he might have been a little ignorant there, or maybe, like, not really gotten the point of that. You know, agree, disagree, that's perfectly fine. I mean, even in the case of, like, say, the Record Spins review of The Pimp Butterfly, that review is horrible, but I'm not gonna hate the guy for it. It's just that he kind of had some dumb thoughts on it. But, like, to get, like, it's like what he did for the Dance Gavin Dance album. Like, okay, you disagree with him on a freaking post-hardcore album. Why do you hate the guy, you know? And I'm sorry, I did go on a tangent there. It seems to be a trend here. But was I angered? No, it was pretty funny. And, like, when he's like mocked, done, like, these, like, mocking reviews of albums I like when he did one of the Ed Sheeran album, where he was, like, sarcastically throwing off names of our better singer-songwriters, or, like, the one, The Hunting Party, where he just didn't care at all. Like, am I gonna get pissed off at him because he doesn't have the same musical taste as me? No, like, again, kind of bring this back around, getting legitimately pissed off at a review is, like, unless there's, like, a really personal thing going on, is just stupid. Moving on. Your other question, was your favorite musical aid documentary? I haven't been seeing many lately, but one that I remember, like, when I watched TV a lot, like, being on VH1 Classic all the time, and just, like, watching, like, maybe 7 times overall, was the Rush documentary, Beyond the Lighted Stage. That one is just entertaining from top to bottom. Like, it's funny, it's really informative, gets really deep into the mindsets of the band members. It really has everything, and if I had to recommend one from a band I really love, then that would probably be it. Oh, and the Foo Fighters one, that has a lot of similar good things about it too. Sorry guys, the camera just ran out of power because I stupidly forgot to charge it after that Best Coast review. So I'm just gonna read this off my computer. Sorry about the fan. And anyway, let's keep going. So Aaliyah Burnett asks, do you like Christian music? This kind of complicated thing because I think I might have actually talked about this in a video a while ago. But now I am Christian. Some of the stuff I write revolves around that, though not in a really direct way. To me, Christian music can be really good if it's not marketed as Christian music, you know? Like, if you take a band like, say, Switchfoot, for example, or more heavier around, like, say, Oh Sleeper, they do talk about, like, some, like, subtly religious stuff, or maybe not so subtly in the case of the latter, but they're not preachy about it. And I like Christian music when it actually has something distinct to say within those religious parameters, I guess. Like, there's actually a personality behind it. Like, on Sundays, I actually play drums or bass in my church's band. Now, those songs are really fun to play, but they are a little too universal for me to really relate to. I need something with a little more nuance to it, a little more detail. So I tend to be really picky when it comes to, say, Christian music. I remember I listened to a song from Matty Mullins' solo album last year. He put out a Christian rock album with some like electronic tinges, and the song I heard, "More of You," is actually, I really like that song. That's the kind of thing I'm talking about. Okay, so let's just keep going with this. She also asks, if you collaborate with any YouTuber, who would it be and why? The Needle Drop. I think Fantano is kind of, in my position, the obvious thing to say. I mean, I'm really good friends with ARTV, who's arguably the second most popular, even though it's by quite a landslide. I've done a collab with Spectrum Pulse. In terms of other reviewers, like, I've like sent messages to the Daily Guru and Velocity's Music, even though they haven't put out a video in nearly a year at this point. Sheesh, guys, just at least listen to what's going on. Anyway, so yeah, I think Fantano is probably the obvious answer here. Do you have a favorite video game or video game movie? I gotta be honest, I don't have any consoles that came out before 2000, that came out after 2006. I have a Wii, and I have an original Xbox to play nostalgia games on. That's it. So, I mean, in terms of favorite video games, it's kind of weird. Like, I probably, in terms of, like, acclaimed stuff that's not, like, licensed and stuff like that, Burnout 3 Takedown, I've been replaying that game a lot while listening to albums lately, and that game is awesome. It's got, like, a 90-something on Metacritic, and it definitely deserves that. And video game movie, I don't really have any. I mean, I saw Fast and Furious 7 a couple weeks ago. That was okay. So, yeah. Favorite EP of all time? You know, I can't really think of any EPs that really stand to mind. I tend to revisit albums or songs, but EPs, like, I don't really think about EPs in terms of the whole. I suppose that in terms of ones I heard recently, I finally got around to listening to Best Coast Fade Away in its entirety, and that's definitely one of their better releases. There are a lot of great songs on that. In terms of future stuff, I'm really looking forward to the new Anthony Ranieri solo album, the guy from Bayside. That should be really good. Aside from that, I can't really think of anything, honestly. If you had to remove one Tom from the music industry that includes their entire body of work, which would you pick? Tom Petty or Tom DeLonge? Honestly, at this point, Tom DeLonge. Like, as a San Diego guy, it's weird to say, but yeah, I mean, I think that in an alternate universe, Mark Hoppus and Travis Barker could have, I don't know, made some great stuff on their own. Case in point, Plus 44. If I have to decide between just those two, Tom DeLonge's probably the one I have least attachment to, even though I like both. So, yeah, going DeLonge. Albums that changed the way you view life. You know, it's weird. I tend to not really get, like, even though I love music, I tend to not get, like, extremely emotional with albums. I guess a recent example, in terms of, like, lyrics that really, like, connect and stuff like that, would be 21 Pilots' Vessel. By the way, that's the next album I'm reviewing. I've been on a bit of a hiatus because of finals, but gonna be listening to that, like, right after I upload this. Yeah, I can't really think of anything that, like, I just like listen to albums and I like them. Like, I can't really think of anything that, like, made me think in a completely different way, like, philosophically, you know? And first album you ever bought. It's not the first album I ever bought, but the first 3 albums I ever listened to, would be, that my mom gave me, actually, would be Def Leppard's Hysteria, Van Halen's first album, and Baptism by Lenny Kravitz. In terms of, I remember the first album I bought on vinyl. That would be the Smithereens, Especially For You. The Smithereens, by the way, incredibly underrated band. You really should check out their stuff. They're like this 80s pop rock band. Fantastic stuff. Okay, Regular Burns asks, are you into weird movies from directors like David Lynch or David Cronenberg? You know, my movie watching tends to be a little surface level, especially recently. And I haven't really had time to delve into, like, deep stuff like that. Though I will say, that one thing that comes to mind that I really enjoyed, I'm not sure how weird it is, but in my film history class, we've been watching, like, a bunch of, like, older movies and stuff, and, in one of the last weeks, we, saw Taxi Driver, and I really liked that. That was kind of weird and kind of creepy. So I guess, I'll say that. Favorite movie? Again, like, my answers would not be the typical, like, you know, The Godfather or Citizen Kane. It's like UHF and the Lego Movie, and I'm a movie pleb. I'm just gonna say that. I am a movie pleb. I will say that the only movie I have a poster of on my wall is Frank, which I actually talked about last year. That was an indie movie that came out last year that I really enjoyed. But yeah, my answer to this is pretty surface level. I'm sorry to disappoint you about that. When was the first time you had an out-of-body experience listening to Smash Mouth? From that first second that I heard Sam, it just hit me right in the heart space. That hurts. Who is the hottest female bassist? Give me a minute. Okay, it's a tie between Nicole Fiorentino, formerly the Smashing Pumpkins, Emma from Band of Skulls, and the bassist from the new Late Late Show. That do it for you? Have you ever farted in the middle of a crowd at a concert? Riley, if you're lying if you say you haven't. That applies to everyone. What song is the best to play on a boombox outside the girl you have a crush on's house at 11 p.m.? The new song from Sunrise Skater Kids called Love Me Back. She'll be screaming with excitement the second you hit that play button. That sums up this Q&A, I guess. I am still doing that subscriber challenge. I'll link the video in the description and answer here and stuff. Basically, if you missed that, where you can get certain rewards if you send over a certain amount of people to subscribe to the channel. So, check that out. Maybe do that. I shouted out one guy in a video, and he appreciated that. Not sure how much of a boost he got, but there you go. So, yeah, I'll see you in the next episode of Spinner Reviews. Bye.